We're back and she's better.
We're back.
And she feels better. She's not groggy, not foggy, not froggy, not foggy,
No more than
and not
normal. Although I do have a tattoo on the side.
You do. I thought you maybe drew on yourself, but
no. We have a 9-month-old cat, Houdini, who loves to have high places, and my head seems to be it.
But had to use your nose to help get there? Or come down?
Normally I have a leather coat on, but he decided to come front ways, and he nailed me, clawed me specifically. But anyway, because it was very cold.
It's very cold here, people. I mean, usually, we're not used to all this.
I'm not a happy camper.
No. Somebody needs to come get it.
Yes.
Yeah, you grew up in it. I grew up in Illinois at times in my life.
Oh, they'll have.
So I mean, 6 foot of snow is a dusting. So it's like, if you don't skip school, you don't do anything. But my body is not used to it. Doesn't like it now. So
as you get older, there's parts that say, we used to ski, and we were younger, and it was fine because I used to have little electric socks, and now they have electric socks that are better, because before they were just little batteries. And this is leading right into our topic. You realize that, because when you ski with electric socks and you ski for hours and it's cold, you don't have snow unless it's freezing. Guess what? Batteries die. Electric socks don't work anymore.
and I can see that, yeah. So battery. Well, I went out to my car other morning. Let's see, to get in the car. So my main car door was open, but the other 3 were locked. Because for some reason, anyway, they were locked. But my key fob would not open them, wouldn't unlock them, and I kept trying. So I opened the door and I hit the unlock button inside. It would not unlock. The only thing I could figure, it was so cold that I don't know, for some reason. So I had to actually reach around in the back and try to get there and open the door because I needed to put something in the back seat. So, batteries will drag in the cold weather, correct?
They're going to go, yes.
So it is interesting that, we've been reading this article this week about how, especially, I guess, out in Chicago and out in the Midwest or whatever, where they've had all this snow.
Yes, and cold.
The cars are dying and people are having to tow them.
Because the batteries died, and the charging stations are again electric, and it takes so the batteries are cold. You need your charge. So you line up to wait, and it takes a while for that battery to even get up to speed to take the charge because it's cold.
Well, I was going to say, it probably doesn't charge as fast as it does when it's warm.
Exactly.
So there you have a lot of cars being stranded.
And towed and pushed. So maybe there's a lesson to be learned here.
Well, I had not thought about that angle of it. I had not. I had thought about distance. I had thought about distance driving and then just finding charging ports, places to go and stuff. And, anything else that can go wrong with a battery. But I had not thought about the cold until all this.
And what they were saying in one article was, you're running your car in the cold on a battery.
Which is probably going to pull it more, correct?
Yes, and you need heat in your vehicle.
Which is going to pull more on the battery.
So the battery is just getting inundated with, hey, I need energy to move. Not going to happen in the cold. And you think about that. And you could say, well, maybe we should just not put heat in the inside of the vehicles. Have you ever driven in a vehicle that doesn't have heat in the inside?
I don't like that idea.
I had a Volkswagen, a 1969, 70 Volkswagen. It's not fun to drive when you don't have heat on your window.
Well,
because you have to scrape.
You have to do. So you gotta have heat for defrost and stuff for sure.
Exactly. So now we have, let's go ahead and get all these electric cars, and they're not hybrids.
Yeah, so they're not kicking over. So they're
not kicking over to fuel. And a lot of the companies are going with, okay, we have these nice e-cars, the electric cars, and they're not hybrids. And then if you watch a commercial that has a hybrid that said, oh, well, if you're going to go to long distances and go play with your vehicle, then kick it into the gasoline mode. So it's sort of like, okay, folks, have we thought about this process a lot?
Like I said, I had not thought about the cold aspect. So
I had not either.
And you just brought up a good point before we started. I doubt people in Siberia or Alaska are using electric vehicles.
Do you ever watch Buying Alaska?
I do watch it from time to time. I do.
We watch it. That's our before I go to sleep mode. I want to watch Buying Alaska because I want to see what these people actually spend their $100,000 or more on.
It's the view.
About the view, hunting, and fishing.
For me, it'd be the view, not hunting and fishing. Yeah.
And the other, and the things that he didn't realize is it is called the land of the midnight sun. So in their summertime, our summertime, and their summertime, when the polar north is facing the sun, they get very long days. So the vegetables grow great.
But then in the other part.
And the other part, then it's very dark.
And so, yes.
So you have to store that. I couldn't do that. And I'm sorry, folks. An outhouse just doesn't do it for me.
Well, some of them buy Alaska and they buy a background. But they always have to have the backup. Because they can't run everything. Because you've got it, you're going to be, most of them are so far off the grid, or some of them, well, not all of them, but some of them are off the grid. And if you're going to be without, if it's a snowstorm and all, they have to have something.
You have to have something.
So,
and it's so cold. And here's where, and I taught science for a long time, but it never really occurred to me living in Alaska. Not something I want to do because snow and I and the cold now no longer agree. But they have to have vehicles. Now, the vehicles have to be something that can go on the snow.
Yeah, most of them four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive.
Eight-wheel drive. So,
snowmobiles.
Yes.
Something to get through.
Electric snowmobiles.
See, that's it. Now
I wonder how that would go.
But even their vehicles that are gas-driven, some of these people say we want to keep them in a place that's warm or sheltered from the cold because the batteries will die.
Well, have you? They tell you the temperature sometimes because when the real estate person is standing there going, okay, well, you do understand that sometimes it's 40 below here. And I'm sitting there going,
no.
It gets so low there at times. It's a really low number.
Well,
so I can't imagine any batteries living.
Now,
any of that.
Batteries. Just thinking about a regular automobile battery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And school buses that are maybe diesel. The other day we had a 2-hour delay for school.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was in teens. Our house, it was 13. Now, if you were up north in some of these school districts, they may have the large garages that those buses go to overnight. And once in a great while, if the temperature is very, very cold, they don't. They will delay school until the temperatures get higher. And we were talking about this is that, wow, not only does it affect electric cars and batteries, but it affects all vehicles that have batteries.
Mm-hmm. It does because
it pulls
on it.
It pulls on it. And a lot of our school buses in this little local area, the drivers will drive them home.
Right.
And they will
because they start from there.
They start from and pick up. And those buses don't go back to the board office until school's out. And again, there's not garages.
No, there's no garage no matter where you go.
Yeah, it's just to repair ones that need to be fixed. So when you talk about batteries, efficiency in batteries really is a whole venture that you need to really think in. And I'm still with propane-driven vehicles. I believe that they may still do that in Brazil, but just think about it. You can produce this gas, you can bottle the gas, and you can use it in your vehicles as a clean source of energy. You don't have to worry about your fossil fuels. You don't have to worry about your batteries dying. And get some garbage and let it decompose, and you've got your gases, and you bottle it.
But propane is a derivative of gas, though.
Well, yes, but it can come from decomposition. It's a methane. You can use it. It's easier to get, and it's clean burning.
But there's not enough.
Have you seen landfills?
Well, I know we got one burning up in Lunenburg.
That's what I mean. You can take these things and
but you still, I don't know that there's enough though to fuel everybody.
I don't know if there's enough, but it's a whole industry that could become enough. Because anytime you take stuff and decompose it, you're going to get some of those gases, and you just bottle them. I mean, there's other alternatives than an electric car. Basically, I think that's what I'm saying.
So I wonder if in Alaska, Siberia, Russia, some of these places, is it possible to have a hybrid vehicle that would work?
In the summertime, maybe.
So maybe in the spring or summer, or when it's warmer and stuff, maybe they could use the other side of it. But it still just seems like because of it feels like just listening to the way they talk. It starts getting cold there, maybe October, and then it probably goes until about spring, probably March.
Or maybe off into April.
So I mean, you've got a long
cold time, a long cold time. And then the other thing to think about with electricity and electric cars, ultimately trace back the source of that electricity.
It goes back to the
so we've just put an intermediary step in there that screws up the whole works, because now it's like, oh, I don't want to burn a fossil fuel, so I'm going to get an electric car.
But how do you get your electricity?
And guess what? You have to plug it in, and you go back. So that's your source here, but that's your sink. That's where it's coming. You got to go back and find, where did that source come from?
And if a tree has fallen on a limb or a light thing, then you have no source of being able to generate, correct?
Yeah.
Unless, I guess in Alaska now they have to hook up to a generator, which that would be, I can't even imagine what size generator, what you'd have to charge a car battery. Because I know you have to charge, I know that's a different kind of scenario. I think they have to put in a kind of different kind of plug or something in order to do. I'm not sure. We toss it around here, and we would love to try a Tesla. We would. Because I love a Tesla.
I do too. And if anyone can solve any of these problems, it will be Elon Musk.
It will be Elon Musk, yes.
You can tell that we are fans.
Yes. So with this issue, I do believe that there's something in his mind already going, okay, well, we got to fix this. This is what's going to happen but I'm curious to see what he's going to come out with to do this. I don't feel like GM, Ford, any of the other ones are going to solve
it. They're not going to.
But Tesla will be the one.
I think Ford actually dropped their electric vehicles. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, so don't take me to the bank on it. But some of their batteries, to replace the batteries, are more expensive than the vehicle it goes into.
And now here again, just thinking out of the box. Okay, just thinking what I would consider to be logical. I know what the weather is like in the Midwest. I know, having lived in Illinois, I know what winter can be like. I understand from people that we have known that have lived in South Dakota, in North Dakota, what it can be like.
Fargo, North Dakota, one of the coldest places in the
Minot, we were supposed to be stationed at Minot at one point, and so it was like, And my thing is, if you're going into a place that is like this, my thought is automatically I'm either going to want a Subaru, or I'm gonna want some kind of SUV or four-wheel drive. That would be my thought. I'm not thinking, I want an electric vehicle. Does not, my rationale does not think that way.
Because you observed, you assessed, and you reacted to the situation you're going to be in. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not moving to Florida.
Here in the Midwest, I mean, in the Mid-Atlantic and everything and stuff, yes, I can see people wanting, because we can make it work here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of electric vehicles.
So, I mean, and we are in a period right now of frigid weather. But generally, we do not stay this way from October to March.
No.
Like next week, we're supposed to have some 60-degree days.
So there we go.
And people a lot of times have garages here and stuff. So, I mean, I can see it more over here. But if you're moving to Alaska, Siberia, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana,
mountain areas, very cold. Hello.
And then I want something that's gonna, I just can't imagine myself going, I just got to have a Tesla.
Well, we would love to have one to just drive around here. We could put turning
Well,
point
here,
here
yeah.
in the center and just drive around and say, Elon Musk.
Yes, we would love to do that, but like I said, if I was going to live in Minot, Minot, North Dakota is not one of my thoughts of.
Do you know how cold it is? When you could take a cup of coffee at one of these places in North Dakota and a cold, cold, cold day, and you could throw the coffee up into the air, and coffee's moving. By the time it hits the ground, it's frozen. I mean, that's pretty cold.
Well, you see these people when you're watching the Alaska shows and everything, their beards will freeze.
Oh.
I mean, their beard, everything just freezes. I mean, and they have to do everything prior to a certain time in the year, or else they know. And some places, some places they have to fly into, and I'm thinking electric plane. Okay.
Oops, battery's not working. Oops, glide in.
Okay. I just, there's just some things that I don't think mine. I just don't think that I would be.
The electric vehicles are quiet. The only thing I want Elon Musk to work on is something in a vehicle that can purify the air as it circulates in the vehicle.
All right. So currently on Google, Minot, North Dakota currently is minus 20 degrees, but it feels like minus 31.
Wind chill.
With the wind chill, yes, but it feels like it. So, no. I don't think your electric vehicle's out today.
No, not anymore. And here's, I got an email from somebody today. And it's kind of interesting. California adopts all these things. The left coast. I'm sorry. I'm more of an independent. I view different topics and say, some of you guys are all idiots. Really. But California said, well, by, was it 2030 or whatever, no more gas-powered vehicles. Now, what's really the cruncher is we are in the state of Virginia. Email I got today, guess what our elected officials have opted to also do? By 2035, we here will have electric vehicles.
No gas power.
We won't sell them, I guess we have a lot of used ones. Now, can you see where we are? That
somebody's not thinking properly. They've not looked at their state and gone, oh, look at all the rural area down below Richmond and the Northern Virginia. That's why I vote for a separation. No vote, and so Northern Virginia in the Tidewater gets cut off and we become solo. Southern Virginia.
the same thing happened in New York. New York is run by the city, the major cities. Because you go to rural New York and they don't believe in all the stuff that's going on. So it's the same thing. You get northern and southern. And
Well, maybe we got a West Virginia. So why not a Northern Virginia, a Southern, and then Eastern Virginia? Sorry, you just get caught up in Northern Virginia because that's how you vote.
You can be the beach, Virginia.
It's
It is Virginia Beach.
it is Virginia Beach, but they vote with the Northern. They vote.
And I don't understand. I really, really don't understand people's thoughts. I mean, our elected officials should look at their constituents before they make a decision. They say, okay, by such and such a year, we are only going to have electric vehicles being sold in our state. Really?
That makes sense for us down here.
We have to drive from our house, it will be 40 minutes to go to some place to get charged. No matter which direction we go.
Well, I mean, the closest grocery store from my home is like 10 to 12 miles. I mean, down in rural Virginia, you drive to get anywhere. Anywhere you go, you drive to. There's not just a local. I mean, when we first moved out our way and stuff, there was like this local, or what they call one of the country stores. You can go up there and get some milk. You could go get something.
There's not too many of them.
But those are all gone by the wayside. They couldn't keep up.
Right.
And now, so I mean, yes, no, I mean, even to go get gas, if you run out of gas, you've got to drive. I mean, I'm 7 miles from town. 14 from Southfield that way. But yeah, so I mean, you're driving somewhere.
And I don't mind the driving.
But I mean, if you're in Richmond, you can hop down to the corner and there's a gas station on every corner.
And some of those probably have charging stations.
They probably do. I mean, we're in a different life now.
We are.
I mean, we're just now getting internet and getting stable, cell towers and various things. I mean, we still have energy co-ops. I mean, so, it's a totally different situation than those people that are in cities making decisions for us. So,
observe, assess, and react. They don't do that. Walk in your brother's shoes or step in their frame of reference. And that happens. You get people who move down here because, oh, it's rural. But then they want to make things like it did where they came from. Not me. I don't want to make anything like upstate New York.
I don't know. Just think about before you buy electric. Think about what you're doing. That's all we say, right?
Yes.
Because batteries die.
And then.
All right, so we're going to wrap up here by letting y'all know that we are on Rumble now, and we're also going to be doing some short little clips and stuff on Instagram. And we're trying to figure it all out, so bear with us as we start this new venture and all. But anyway, it's going to be a different year and stuff, and so stay tuned. But yeah, so there'll be different ways to keep in contact with us, and as we're learning, like I said, just bear with us. We're new at this.
Just saying.
Yep. I don't have anything battery operated today. Well, I do my
just
phone.
Your phone.
My phone. And my watch.
And your watch.
But
I just got my phone.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.